Newton's first law states that an object at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by a force. The object here is sitting at rest in a car seat. It stays at rest until the driver decides to turn the wheel, which is an outside force that will cause the object to fall over, as seen here in this example. This is a representation of what the object looks like as it sits with no force being pushed. Now this is what he looks like as the car is being turned and he's starting to fall over. The second part of Newton's first law states that an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by a force. In this example, ice is put into motion on marble flooring. This object stays in motion the entire time. This is because nothing is in the way to stop the ice, so it continues to move. This is another way that Newton's first law is shown as in this example. This is what the ice looks like when it is being pushed with 5 newtons of force. As you can see, it never stops. Here is an example of Newton's second law and first concept, which is a greater force will result in a greater acceleration. Here is an object with a fairly small amount of mass that is about to be pushed with a small amount of force. This is going to result in the object not moving very far. As you can see, the object stops after only a few feet. This is what the small mass looks like as it sits in place. Now it is being pushed with 7 newtons of force. Now here is the same object with the same small amount of mass. It is about to be pushed with more acceleration than in the last video. As you can see that because I pushed the object with more force, it was able to accelerate faster and farther than in the last video. This is an example of Newton's second law and first concept. Now here is the mass that is the same size as the last one, but now being pushed with 10 newtons, making it going farther. Now this is an example of Newton's second law and second concept, which is a greater mass results in less acceleration. Here we have the same small massed object being pushed at a medium level of force, as seen right now. As you can see, the object goes pretty fast and pretty far by almost hitting the plant. Here is another object that is much larger than the object before, with way more mass. It is about to be pushed with the same level of force as the last object. The object's acceleration is very slow, proving that greater mass results in less acceleration. Here is the smaller mass being pushed with 10 newtons. Now here is the greater mass that is being pushed with the same amount of force, but not going as far. Now this is an example of Newton's third law, which is when a force is exerted on an object, the object exerts a force back. In this example, scissors, which is the object, are being dropped from about 4 feet in the air. As they hit the ground, which is the other object, they should bounce back up according to Newton's third law. As seen in this example, this is exactly what happens, proving his law to be true. This here is a representation of what happens when the scissors hit the floor and bounce back up. In this second example of Newton's third law, a pencil, which is the object, is going to be thrown at a wall, which is the other object, and according to Newton's third law, it should come flying back as it hits the wall. As seen, this is exactly what happens. Here's a representation of the pencil being thrown against the wall. Here is what happens after it bounces off the wall and starts flying back towards the person who threw it.